Welcome to Ayakashi Triangle. The anime starts with this girl buying some food and being stalked by this yokai cat. And we hear a narration explaining that yokais exist in this world and they are called Ayakashis. And there are people who kills evil yokais and they are called exorcist ninjas. And they are a type of people who can see yokais, kinda like stand users. As this perverted cat keeps talking, this ninja boy caught him and tries to exorcise him. But the girl protected him and her name is Suzu and the ninja's name is Matsuri. Then we cut to this childhood flashback of the pair on how they became close friends because they're both stand users. Then one day, Ninja Boy's attitude towards yokais changed because he was enlisted to get drafted to the ninja exorcist army by his grandpa. We snap back to reality and oh, there goes gravity and they go separate ways. Then we see Ninja Boy exorcising the spider stand.
The power of Christ compels you!
Meanwhile, Suzu goes on a therapy and explains her love story to the cat. Ninja Boy goes home and tells his old man that Suzuki tries to save this yokai cat. And the old man tells him that he needs to save her immediately because that cat is the yokai king and he's going to devour her because of her strong life force or something, and he rushes to save her.
I'm coming for that ass, boy.
Back to the beach where the cat transforms into a big pussy and he explains everything on why he's going to eat her, like how EDP tries to eat cupcakes.
Oh, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake.
Ninja Boy arrives just in time to save her. He uses some ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu, and bullshit jutsu to beat the huge pussy, but he counters back by using a gender swap spell and Ninja Boy turns into a trance. And the huge pussy was able to escape because of this 500 IQ strat. Damn, trans people who paid for millions for surgery just to remove their dicks are crying right now. The next day comes and the pair goes to school. Ninja Boy, Ninja Trans noticed her yokai senses tingling. She goes out and meets up with the pussy, and they negotiate about returning each other back to normal. But Ninja Trans refuses and the pussy calls for his backup, but it didn't appear. Then the trans noticed that the bitch is under attack because earlier the bitch searches for the trans and she was greeted by yokai EDP.
Get on your hands and knees and suck my motherfucking dick!
The trans saves her and he proposed a deal to join into her friend group so that he can closely protect her. As the trans takes a bath, the pussy steals the scroll by transforming into the bitch. He chased him and he was about to exorcise him again, but the bitch stopped him and she says, "Stop, don't kill him, cause if you do, you'll end up having a minge forever. And I don't wanna have scissors with you. And I want to ride your huge wood deep into my minge."
Damn good deal.
And with this, he makes a deal with the pussy and adopt him to become his pet. A few days pass by and the pussy became his pet. The bitch makes some food in order to befriend the pussy and to return the femboy back to normal. Then this silver feather drops onto their gate and notices that another ninja clan is in the town. They go to school and we get introduced to this Bakugo lookalike ninja. He goes outside and tries to kill the pussy.
Today yo ain't gonna die!
The femboy noticed this and he chased after them. Bakugo corners the pussy but the femboy stopped him. Bakugo tells the femboy to give up on returning to normal and eliminate the pussy so that he can become his femboy lover.
Why are you gay?
But the femboy responded that he wouldn't kill the pussy even if he wants to, because Suzuki is trying her best to help him return to normal in her own ways. Bakugo throws a kunai and gets a panty slip, but because he's a loser-ass virgin, he gives up. The next episode starts where trans ninja's friendship on these bitches gets deeper by eliminating this weak yokai that always causes her to slip, and he uses some coke to expel it.
Cocaína!
Then Ninja Bakugo sends his yokai messenger and tells the trans to meet up with him in the school field alone, and he tells the trans to be cautious about his bitch because if she causes a trouble to humans, she might get exorcised and sent to hell. We cut to Suzuki's house where she thought that maybe a true love's kiss Disney style would turn the trans ninja back to normal. Meanwhile, the trans keeps overthinking about Suzuki getting exorcised. Then Suzuki shows up to have Lebanese sex with her, but he pussied out because he wants to be a virgin for life and the bitch disappears.
Nothing will stand in the way of me and my virginity.
The trans calls Suzuki and asks her if she's in her house, and he explains that there's a yokai clone of her that wants to rape him.
Right!
He then consults to the old man and he says that yokai clones are dangerous because they can share physical damage to the real person, and if a clone gets decapitated or something, it might also happen to the real person. The trans searches for the clone to expel it. He then finds the clone along with the help of the pussy. It tries to shoplift this crepe shop and was about to break Suzuki's fingers. The trans throws the pussy and manages to subdue the clone.
Target neutralized.
The next morning comes where they do some PE exercises and some student shenanigans. Then Hokuto girl took a picture of their buff PE teacher and accidentally caught a stand. The stand clings onto her and the trans plans on exercising this bitch. Then Yokai Pussy warns him that this is a dangerous stand. The trans asks her if she can visit her house to read some doujins and she agrees. She used this as an alibi to expel the stand. The bitch just took a bath but the stand keeps growing. Hokuto girl passes out and the trans starts trance using his black hole jutsu. He manages to remove it out of Hawk Tuah Girl's body and kills it. Then we see this unknown Vincent Van Gogh asking a question on this kappa about Suzuki. Van Gogh goes to school and he meets the pair because they noticed his yokai presence earlier. Then Van Gogh asks the teachers to let the pair be his tour guide and they agree. Then Suzuki asks, "You're a yokai, right? Why the fuck are you here in our school?" "Well, I'm here because I noticed your huge spirit energy." The trance tries to protect Suzuki and he immediately makes a portrait of them because he's a Lebanese fan. He then says that it's unfortunate for the trance because the yokai pussy turned his pee-pee into a minge, and he asks the pair about the whereabouts of the pussy, and the trance tells him that he doesn't want to show up because he hates him. He then reveals his plans that he wants the pussy to become the Führer. He then draws an octopus to search for the seal scroll so that the pussy can get back its power. Then the kappa arrives to save him. He attacks Van Gogh but he was captured by his chains. Then Hawk Tuah Girl and this bitch tries to approach them, but Van Gogh drew a wall to deceive them. That's bullshit right there. How could you not notice that he drew a wall right in your face? You retards were clearly a meter away from them. What a blind dumbasses. Anyway, Van Gogh manages to find the scroll, but Suzuki gets it and tries to run away, but the octopus chased after her.
You're going nowhere.
She protected the scroll and manages to use her yokai powers, and she tames the octopus to protect her. Then the trance uses Rasengan to destroy the faucet, and all the drawings melt. Van Gogh surrenders and tells him that it was just a simulation on how good they can protect the bitch.
This has been a test of our emergency preparedness. There is no fire, it was only a simulation.
What?
And Suzuki also noticed this because he never hurted them. He also says that with Suzuki's enormous potential, she can become the yokai god. They meet up on Suzuki's house and discuss about her potential to become the yokai god. She then remembered that Van Gogh said that she can nullify the curse and bring the trance back to normal if she can properly control her powers. She tried undoing the spell but it didn't work, and her brother walks onto them having Lebanese sex.
Oh, that's hot.
On the other hand, the yokai pussy and Van Gogh are watching, and they talk about if she can control her powers, a Omokage or something might appear. Night comes and the trance ninja sends some yokais back to hell. He then warns Kappa Bakugo about their ninja suit being broken. We then cut to Suzuki training to control her powers with the help of Van Gogh. Then the trance warns her to avoid talking to Van Gogh without him because he might be planning something degenerate stuff on her.
Wow, that's illegal.
The pair goes home and they visit this ninja shop. Then a black goo yokai kidnaps the pussy, but this hot ninja sucks the yokai out and saves him. She introduced herself and her name is Rio Speedwagon. They go inside the store and in this underground, where the trance proceeds to train and Rio Speedwagon analyzes his female body for his new ninja suit. Rio then tells Suzuki on how she met the trance, and she's been supporting him ever since he became a ninja. They go home and Rio tells him that it wasn't an ordinary yokai power that broke his ninja suit. Then he deduced that maybe Suzuki's yokai power was the one who destroyed it. We then see the yokai pussy being worried about something new powerful yokai coming to their town. The next episode starts with the trance told Bakugo that there's a frequent appearance of Icon yokais. They go to the forest so that the trance can test his new and improved ninja suit. Meanwhile, we see Hawk Tuah Girl summoning an alien because she's seen it in social media.
Cocaine is fucking awesome. Where has this been all my life?
We cut back to Suzuki and the pussy where he transformed into the ninja boy so that she can give him some more dango. And with a little bit of flirting, she throws the dango. Then Hawk Tuah Girl sees the pussy eating some dango and she interviewed him because she thought that he's an alien.
We can take over the crack game.
Back to the pair where the trance catches the yokai and the pair sees them talking. The trance lets go of the yokai and through sheer coincidence she thought that ninja boy returned to the mothership. We cut to this scene where Rio Speedwagon shows up and tells the trance that she knows how to undo the gender swap curse and she needs to smell his scent first. Then Suzuki saw them doing perverted acts. Then Rio Speedwagon locks the house and starts making some incense dispelling drugs, Breaking Bad style.
Wanna cook?
They start smoking like it's a weed but it didn't work. Then Rio Speedwagon gives Suzu the look of hee I'm going to steal your man and ride his dick all night long when I return him back to normal, and so the rivalry begins. We cut to this scene where this Jacksepticeye kid asks Suzuki for help because there's an injured yokai. He introduced himself as Hinojiki Sosuke. And I'll just call him Jacksepticeye because he has green hair. She heals the yokai and Jacksepticeye ate it. He then gets an orgasm on feeling the powers of a yokai medium.
There was a ghost. This ectoplasm!
And he proceeds to kidnap her. The pussy saw all of this and he explains to the trans and Kappa that Jacksepticeye is a human type of yokai, a jinyo, which means he's a stand, and it's his first time seeing this kind of stand over 400 years. And the gang searches for Suzuki. Meanwhile, Suzuki wakes up in this abandoned hotel where Jacksepticeye tells that he's a yokai chef.
Yeah!
And he wants to eat her, but she needs to show fear in order to enhance her flavor because he was just a weak-ass yokai before. And by committing yokai murder like Jeffrey Dahmer, he starts evolving into a stand. And he finally starts his meal prepping by scaring her.
What the fuck was that sound?
This fucking idiot stand, man. For Christ's sake, just eat her already if you want to be strong. You're only wasting your time on these meal prepping shenanigans. Anyway, the trans arrives just in time to stop the meal prep. They start fighting, but Jacksepticeye ate all of his yokai powers and sends him unconscious. He was about to eat Suzuki, but the pussy saved her by stealing the seal scroll and recovering his powers by waiting for the trans to get unconscious. They start fighting and Jacksepticeye manages to cut the pussy off guard. He manages to eat half of his face, and the pussy was able to throw Suzuki away to keep her safe. Suzuki then uses her yokai spirit powers and distracts Jacksepticeye. She rushed to the pussy to heal him, but she was caught and was about to get eaten. But the trans saves her and he finally gets back his PP.
Why I f***ing hate video games.
The pussy explains that casting the gender swap spell onto him gave him a second life because the yokai powers Jacksepticeye ate from him was the powers coming from the pussy. Ninja Boy vs Jacksepticeye 2 starts. Then he tells Jacksepticeye about his plan and he's going to overfed him with yokai powers so that he'll get a stomach ache because his stomach isn't on par with Matt's Tony. Well, good job telling him your plan, dick face. They start fighting again and Ninja Boy was able to read his attacks. He dodges all of the mouth illusions and feeds the real mouth with his yokai Rasengan and he beats him. Then the pussy tells them that his transformation is only temporary and he can't undo the spell because his yokai powers were eaten and they're gone forever. And now it's up to Suzuki to undo the spell and he turns back into having a minge. They go home and the pussy tells Suzuki that most of his yokai powers are gone and he anoints her as the new yokai king to bring balance to the yokai world. The next morning comes where the pair talks and Suzuki tells the trans that she's gonna accept on becoming the yokai king and the pussy tells her to follow him to test her if she is fit enough to become the yokai king. We then see Rio Speedwagon talking to her grandmother principal where she's been told to support the trans and Suzuki on their yokai adventures. As she's walking down the hallway, she spotted the pussy and Suzuki. He brings Suzuki to this Neanderthal yokai and her quest is to find some lost beans. Meanwhile, the trans talks to Bakugo on Suzuki becoming the yokai king and he responds that there's no scientific evidence that a human can become a yokai king. They just need to watch the result and don't let their guard down. They manage to find the lost beans and Suzuki finishes the quest and a bunch of ecchi stuff happens and we skip to the next day where she was coronated as the yokai king. Then this acorn yokai disagrees to her as the next king, just like that scene in Johnny English.
For England, I do not.
He puts on a spell on the trans and through the power of friendship he manages to overcome it. The yokai celebrates their new king and that's the end of the anime. This anime gets a Pokemon out of a yokai watch.